It is minus 20 degrees, you have no coat, you have no fire yet. And somehow, your ancestors survived in this exact moment thousands of times over. Not with luck, with engineering. Engineering that predates writing, predates farming, predates almost everything you'd call civilization. Let's go back to the source. For most of human history, there was no thermostat, there was no heated room waiting for you. Winter didn't pause for anyone. If your body dropped just a few degrees below normal, your organs would start shutting down one by one. So the question was never comfort, the question was survival. And survival meant solving a problem that modern science is still unpacking today. Start with fire because everyone assumes fire was the whole answer. It wasn't. But fire alone couldn't keep a body warm through an ice age night. You needed something fire couldn't give you. A layer between your skin and the air itself. That layer was clothing, not clothing the way you picture it. Archaeologist Ian Gilligan, who studies the deep history of clothing at the University of Sydney, has spent years arguing something surprising. He believes clothing wasn't first invented for warmth at all, but for something closer to modesty or ritual in warmer climates. Only later, as humans pushed into colder regions, did clothing become a survival tool. Which means the jacket in your closet has roots that go back further than the Ice Age itself. But knowing you need insulation is one thing, building it from scratch with nothing but stone tools and animal hide is another. This is where the evidence gets specific. Researchers led by paleoanthropologist Bruce Hardy found something that shouldn't have existed according to the old story of human history. Twisted plant fibers, cordage, essentially primitive string, dated to around 90,000 years ago. And the toolmakers weren't even modern humans, they were Neanderthals. Twisted cordage means something specific. It means someone understood how to take a weak, floppy plant fiber and twist it against itself until it became strong enough to bind things together. That's not an accident. That's a repeatable technique, passed down, practiced, refined. Why does string matter for staying warm? Because string is what turns a loose animal hide into a fitted garment. Without it, you're just draping fur over your shoulders and hoping it stays. You can tie a hide around your body, seal the gaps, trap your own body heat against your skin instead of letting it leak into the wind. Now picture the scene. You are standing outside a shelter made of branches and packed earth somewhere in what is now Russia, roughly 30,000 years ago. The wind is sharp enough to sting exposed skin in minutes. Around you, other members of your group are working. Someone scrapes a hide clean with a stone tool, removing fat and tissue so it won't rot. Someone else pierces small holes along the edge with a bone awl, a hand-sized tool with a sharpened point. A third person threads cordage through those holes, pulling the hide into a shape that follows the curve of a human torso. This wasn't guesswork, this was tailoring. At a site called Sungir in Russia, archaeologists uncovered burials from roughly 34,000 years ago, containing thousands of small ivory beads on skeletons. The beads weren't scattered randomly. Their positions traced the outline of fitted clothing. Sleeves, trousers, even boots. The beads have likely been sewn directly onto garments that decomposed long ago, leaving only their decorations behind as an outline in the dirt. Think about what that means. Fitted trousers, fitted sleeves, not a blanket, not a cloak. A functioning cold-weather outfit stitched together during the last ice age, good enough to let humans survive temperatures that would kill an unprotected body in hours. So the tools were there, the technique was there. But here's the twist most people never hear. Clothing may have done something even bigger than keeping individual bodies warm. Some researchers believe it changed the course of human migration itself. Once early humans could reliably manufacture fitted, insulated clothing, they were no longer trapped in warm climates. They could follow herds of animals into colder territory. They could cross into regions that had been biologically off-limits before. In other words, a twisted piece of plant fiber and a scraped animal hide may have helped unlock entire continents. That's the part that should stop you. Not fire, not shelter, But a sewing technique refined over tens of thousands of years may be one of the reasons humans exist in nearly every climate on Earth today. And here's where it gets personal. You, at this very moment, are almost certainly wearing a descendant of that same solution. A stitched seam, a fitted sleeve, a layer designed to trap your body heat and hold it against your skin. The materials changed, the machines changed, the core idea did not. When you zip up a jacket without thinking about it, you are performing a version of something a Neanderthal figured out with a bone needle and a strip of twisted fiber 90,000 years before you were born. Consider how much modern comfort quietly runs on ancient decisions like this. Your ancestors didn't have weather apps, they didn't have synthetic insulation or heated buildings. What they had was observation, trial, failure, and stubborn persistence generation after generation, until fitted clothing became second nature. You inherited that persistence, you just don't usually notice it because it now looks like nothing more than getting dressed. So the next time you complain about the cold on your walk to work, remember what the real solution required. It required someone thousands of generations ago sitting outside in a freezing wind, scraping a hide by hand, threading fiber through bone, refusing to accept that the cold got the final say. It is minus 20 degrees, you have no coat, you have no fire yet. And somehow, standing right here wearing what your ancestors invented, you already know exactly how the story ends.